So in 1971, America comes off the global, the gold standard. Now, what had actually happened was America was involved in many wars, in Laos, in Cambodia, and in Vietnam. And because America was involved in most of these wars and had lost a lot of money, it found that whereas it owed the rest of the world about 35 billion US dollars worth of gold, it only had 15 billion or about 15 billion worth of gold. So it couldn't pay. So how does America solve this problem? America just comes off the gold standard and creates a fiat currency. A currency not backed by anything. Now, understand this. Every time I tell people that the American dollar is a piece of paper with graphics on it, and it's not backed by gold or any other thing, most people argue. They say, how can that be? I remember one head of a bank, of a central bank in one country, looking at me twice and say, what you are saying can't be true. Are you saying that the American dollar is not backed by anything? And I said, no, it's not backed by anything. And he says, but it's backed by the production of the American economy. And I said, that's nothing, that's rubbish. It means that if I want to produce chips, then the dollar strengthened. If a factory closed, then the dollar would go down. That is, it means that you can aggregate the entire production and say, now the dollar is backed by this. No. Currencies are backed by gold or silver. Gold maintains its standard. That's why you hear in a speech, when they say, well, that's the gold standard of economics, the gold standard of medicine, the gold standard of measurement, because gold is reliable as a measurement. So when America moves from the gold standard, American dollar becomes a fiat currency. Basically everybody who was holding the dollar was holding nothing. America performs what we call an economic swindle in 1971. But because currencies had been aligning themselves to the American dollar, most central banks, don't even think twice. They continue operating on the dollar. And then in 1973, Henry Kissinger performs one of the most dramatic acts any foreign secretary had ever done. And he persuaded Saudi Arabia to sell and mark and determine its oil in dollars. What is now known as the petrodollar. That's when you hear expression of the petrodollar, it means that Saudi Arabia had started accepting American dollars to pay for oil. Instead of gold, instead of British pound, instead of Russian ruble, they are saying, no, the dollar. Now understand this. Stop at home, stop what you are doing, and look at me and understand this. Imagine Saudi Arabia gets men and women and trucks and drills a hole in the ground and takes a valuable resource called oil. In reality, it doesn't do it because it is the Americans that mine the oil. Now, after mining, imagine somebody sits in an office in America, gets a piece of paper, sends it to some graphic artist, he puts some pictures, and then prints millions of these and gives it to Saudi Arabia. That is what America does to us. It goes in one room called the Mint. It prints on pieces of paper graphics and other images, and then it sends them to us. America can sit in America in the Mint and print 1 trillion and come and buy the whole of Kampala. Now, what would they have taken? They have taken land, they have taken buildings, they have taken factories. In exchange for what? In exchange for pieces of paper with graphics on them.